Hi all, it's Ben. I'm bringing you another DIY, do-it-yourself repair. So this is the toilet I've worked on, or Pam has worked on before, and has encountered a different issue. It doesn't flush. Now I know the supply line there's no issue, and there's water in the bowl, but I noticed something isn't working. I've taken off the tank lid and I'm taking a look, and you can see the flapper is broken. I also know that the fill valve is fine because you can lift it up and it still fills up more water, but it's not flushing. So we had to replace that little guy in there. I went to Home Depot and picked up the Fluidmaster 502 Universal 3-pack adjustable flapper. It's an exact replacement of the one that you saw in the toilet. Comes 3 in a pack. You can buy one by itself and it ran about $5. But for a pack of 3, it came out to be about $11. So you save a little bit of money by buying 3. Why should you buy 3? As with a lot of things in the toilet, a lot of these components will wear out. Now, we've made a video about replacing that guy, this Fluidmaster fill valve, and now this component has worn out. And it just happens. So don't feel like these things should last forever, because they won't. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop this in. It's gonna take actually very, very quick to replace it. A couple of things I wanna point out on this fill valve is you can adjust how much water flows from the tank into the bowl to flush out the bowl. So if you have it at the minimum, right here at 1, you gotta turn this all the way over. That means the float, when you flush the lever, it doesn't open and stay open as long. So there's less water from the tank that goes into the bowl. Now you run the risk of not getting a completely clean bowl if you set it all the way at the minimum. If you set it at the maximum, then what's going to happen is when you pull the lever, this float's going to stay open longer, which means more water from the tank goes into the bowl and you get a more thorough flush. The consequences are more water is going to be used up from the bowl. So it's just going to use more water to flush the bowl, whereas if you set it at a lower setting, it might just be right. So you're gonna have to kind of play with it by yourself if water consumption or conservation is an issue for you. So I usually set it around like 7, which usually for my use is about right. Like, as I said, if it doesn't flush all the way, you run the risk of having to flush multiple times, but right around 7 has been kind of the sweet spot for me. Your mileage may vary. So you don't need any special tools, just kind of unclip this guy here, unclip this guy here, and he comes out. Then you just take it off the chain. A couple of tips. When you unpack this new guy, there's going to be this plastic part in here. This is not supposed to be removed. It sometimes will fall out and it's pretty easy to drop back in. So if you see that it's been detached, just drop it right back in and you should be good. You need this part for this flapper valve to work correctly. So another tip has to do with the chain. On a new flapper valve, they give you a very long chain. If you just hook this straight to that lever in the toilet, if the chain is too long, then every time you try to push to flush, it's not going to lift the valve. So there's going to be adjustments. You're going to have to actually move this down a couple of links. If you take out your old one, and if you have a direct drop-in replacement, you can actually just take it and see where you put the chain previously. Now you can see on this old one, I took up some of the slack on the chain. So actually, in theory, you only need about this much chain. So I can just simply move this guy all the way down to here, and my toilet should operate the same. And so there you go. All I did was clip this down to about the same link distance as this old one on the bottom. And so I have the correct amount of length to clip and attach to the lever. Okay, so there's the old one. I'm gonna take it out, just kind of put this guy on, clip the 2 brackets onto each side, and then attach the chain to the lever arm. And then we should be good to go. So I've attached the flapper cover, and now I just have to clip this onto the lever. So the new flapper valve is installed. I clipped it to the correct same location with the same length of chain because I used the old one as a guide. Now here's another little tip. You don't want this chain too long because it might get caught underneath the flapper. So when you flush, you certainly don't want any of the chain to be caught between the flapper and the seat, because that way you're just going to have a leaky toilet and then you're just going to lose water. The other thing I'd like to point out is from time to time, even if you have a good mechanism, a good flapper, you might hear your toilet every so often fill the tank up because there's a slow leak. Now, it could be this guy is faulty and you have a leak that's leaking water from the tank into your bowl. And a good way to resolve that is you inspect it, see if this guy is actually damaged. If not, a quick thing you can do is you can take a paper towel and wipe around this seat right here. Because sometimes it might be a little grimy or there might just be a little obstruction that you can probably take care of by just cleaning it, wipe around, and see if that solves your problem. If not, as I said, this thing only costs $5 and literally took about, since I'm making the video, it took a little longer, but literally it takes about a minute to replace. Just pull that dude off, slap it back on, and you're good to go. So anyways, save yourself some time and money. Don't have to call a plumber or repairman. You can probably do this yourself. Thanks for watching.